It's Wednesday, June the 27th.
Oh, almost.
And you're
Almost.
tuned in to the TNIAB podcast. I'm Vince.
I'm Anthony.
And it's the Geek Chic Culture Show. We talk about all the cool things in the world. What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
I don't know. Apparently your pants.
Yeah. I didn't realize that the ends of my laces were tied like this.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a new week. It's the end of June. Summer's here. And
We have extreme heat warnings on the way.
everyone's getting ready for celebrations. Canada Day weekend, July the 4th.
And who cares about that one?
The summer heat wave. If you just graduated from school, congratulations.
You're still in
And
it,
if
sucker.
you're getting ready for summer school, well, that's on you.
Yeah, that's on you.
That's on you.
I don't know, unless it's like their parents are forcing them into like tutoring summer school.
Yeah, because that's on them.
What do you mean?
Because they're not good enough.
No, what if they are good, but their parents are just like, you need more school?
Oh, like
those-
accelerate?
yeah, those
That's not
immigrate-
tutoring.
those
That's not
immigrate-
tutoring.
Okay.
No, you just sign up for that shit.
If you're in that accelerated course, that sucks.
Well, I bet you're loving it right now. But don't worry, kids. Being smart and doing all the work early is the coolest thing in the world.
I don't know about you college kids.
Fuck, man. Trust me, you realize that once you hit 22 and you see people who are graduated and done making six-figure salaries.
Yeah, you got to do that.
And you're
Easy.
like, and then you're just like, fuck, what have I done with my life?
We made a podcast.
Yeah, anyways. Enough depressing life decisions aside. Let us move on. And let's start the show off with a question. Did you...
Ooh, oh, finally, someone whose last name I can make into a funny title.
Paul writes, sorry to have missed a question for the last episode. The different release schedule threw me off.
No worries, Paul.
Here are 2 questions for you this week to make up for it.
Ooh,
okay.
Double the work.
Based on the reveal for Square Enix's The Quiet Man, let's assume the game is 100% visuals and absolutely no audio to simulate being deaf. Would you play that? Similarly, what if they made a game where you were blind? If it was purely audio and haptic feedback on the controller, do you think it would be a fun romp? Or how about a VR type game where everything was controlled by head movements?
Okay.
Example, to stimulate not being able to feel anything. Would these be steps forward in the gaming industry, or does it need to be, or does it all need to be there, or does all it need there to be to make a good game?
So I think basically what he's getting at is like,
Yeah.
if we took out a sense,
Yeah.
would we still get a good game? Right?
Yes.
Where...
Or do you need good game fundamentals supporting it, and these we'll call them gimmicks are only there to enhance it?
Yeah. I think, at least in my mind, I feel like the one that would be easiest would be like no sight type of thing.
Like no taste. I got you there.
No taste. Yeah. Fuck taste. Taste. I don't want to taste my games. I do want to smell them though.
Oh, okay.
No, just like no sight. Because like when I think about it, it's like way back in the day, you get like DOS adventure games or stuff like that, right? And you don't really need visuals with that kind of stuff. If anything, you could use it now as like the audiobook version of a game, where they have that trailer for the very special edition of Skyrim, where it's a voice controlled adventure game, right? And to me, that sounds really fun. But in terms of like taking away sound and stuff like that, you would have to have some amazing way to show your game visually or through, again, haptic feedback for that to work, because sound is such a huge thing. Whereas if you took away like feeling and like stuff like that, because even though they don't do much right now, it's just like rumble. Like I can do without rumble.
Could you do without feeling the buttons?
Ooh, that'd be weird.
Like, what if I gave you a controller with no, like, it was smooth?
Oh, okay. And there's just like no feedback.
So basically, you had a touchscreen controller.
Yeah, but there's like no feedback from the touch and
you
stuff.
You got it.
That would be a little bit weirder.
That'd be fucking frustrating. Is what that would be.
Because the controller is a tactile thing. Like like the more I think about it, like video games really do take a majority of your senses.
Yep.
And I think to take away any one of those would be detrimental unless you had some amazing idea, and like VR would probably be that solution.
Yeah.
But just to immerse yourself in a different way, that'd be hard.
I think for sure you could have some incredible tech demos.
Yeah.
Or like small little short adventures to demonstrate what kind of magic you could pull with that. I don't know if you could create a whole game around it though.
Yeah, like something that's like 20 hours that I want to play.
I'm 100% behind the idea that yes, you can make this well crafted and structured experience where you can guide the player, but at that point, are you still making a game, or are you making just an interactive experience, or like walkthrough or something?
But what's the difference, man?
That's very true. That's very true.
Art is art.
I'm gonna say it right here. There are some things in this world where, unfortunately, you just need all 5 of your senses to experience them.
Yeah.
You know, like I would never tell someone, "Oh, if you can see, you have to experience driving." You know, like there's just some things.
Yeah.
Like for sure, you could. There's ways around that, and the same goes with video games. But
hey man, I know you're deaf, but you should listen to this audiobook.
Exactly. I am 100% behind the idea. Unfortunately, that there are just some activities in this world where, if you are unfortunately, handicapped in a certain sense, you just won't be able to get it all.
And like, specifically on just the video games front, that one's really hard, because where you can have workarounds for different mediums, like movies have subtitles, books have braille, and right, you can kind of get around different types of disabilities with certain types of media. But like when I think about video games, it's really an all-encompassing.
That's why they work.
Yeah,
unfortunately, they're just so complex, and like how much information you have to take in.
But your idea of like making I don't know, like a 45-minute, an hour and a half, like tech demo experience, that kind of stuff, by using different types of immersion, that sounds really cool. It's almost like the indie art house film of video games.
Totally, it could be like a movie that you live through.
Yeah,
as opposed to something that you're in control of. It's like a ride. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. The second question is possibly related to the first question. What little ancillary things help create an immersive in-game universe? A good story is obviously key, but what are the unsung heroes? A good soundtrack, good secondary characters, good voice acting, or are even these too obvious nowadays? Is the true unsung hero something like realistic grass physics?
Hell yeah!
Hair physics! Anthony mentioned how good the grass looked in Last of Us 2. Is foliage the key?
Listen, foliage is always the key, but it is the key to the start. It is not the be-all, end-all. Yeah. As much as I love foliage. Oh. That was some nice foliage in that demo, man. Those blades of grass are moving individually.
You did kind of lose your shit over it.
Oh, fuck. This is so nice. Just ancillary.
Ancillary,
yeah, that's a good word. For me, it's always foreshadowing or smart story crumbs.
That's what makes a good in-game immersion. Like that's what does it for you.
Like whenever I think of video game stories, like I always feel that stories in video games are the weakest portion of it. I always feel that they're kind of cookie cutter and stuff like that. But when someone can tell like a really a really interesting story, but also have like some amazing foreshadowing within it, I'm just like, it really pushes it that one step further, and that kind of doesn't.
So are you? It sounds like you're saying that for you to have a great immersive in-game universe, you want story at the forefront.
Yeah, in terms of immersion, right? If I'm talking fun, if I'm talking games I enjoy actually playing, it's gameplay.
That's what gives you the most immersion.
Maybe it's a combination, but I can't decide between the two.
Okay.
Because like there's games like Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox. Yeah. The story of that game, trash. Yeah. Like it's I don't even remember what happens, and I beat that game about 8 times. Yeah. Right? But it's the gameplay in that game that keeps me coming back.
So you're telling me that the gameplay
whereas
in Ninja Gaiden is the thing that immerses you into that world. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in terms of story, like I go back to The Last of Us, and where I find their shooting mechanics and their stealth mechanics pretty whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and like I don't think they do anything too
Mm-hmm.
special.
Mm-hmm.
The story in that game is what made me go through it on the PS3, on the
Mm-hmm.
PS4, on New Game Plus,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, just to see those moments again and how they were just very impactful. Immersion.
Interesting. Your take on immersion is different from my take on immersion.
Which is
So when I read the question, I assumed that like what makes you believe in this world, what makes you want to come back and be interested in it.
yeah.
And for me, immersion is it's all the small things you don't think about. It's all little details. It's all the things that when you're going through the game and you see it or interact with it, you don't even think that someone else had to put that in there.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
because it's just because you just expect that because a real world experience would have that. For example, The Last of Us. When you look through desolated areas or cities and there's stories told from dead bodies or things people wrote on the walls, you never think to yourself that there was somebody who had to think about this and write that.
Yeah.
You're just like, this is the area. This is the story that's
So I
being
guess
told.
I didn't really explain like the breadcrumb portions of
Yes.
that, but like that is also taken into consideration when I say story.
All right, pick one. Which is it? Which is it? Don't sit on the fence,
But
bitch.
I love sitting on the fence.
I know you do.
I
know
do.
you love that tall, thick post.
Oh, it's great. You just sit on that tall, thick post, you know? Slowly sit on it. In terms of recent games,
Yes.
I'll have to say story.
Okay.
Right? Like the most immediate example is The Last of Us. Or sorry, not The Last of Us. Is God of War.
G of War.
The latest God of War, where I finished that game in 2 days. In two sittings.
Dose set hangs.
And the game's like 30 hours long.
Yes.
And really what made me believe in that world and in that story is the way they develop Norse mythology, the way...
I thought you were going to say North misogyny.
North misogyny. You know, the North has got all that misogyny. Norse mythology.
That's the one.
Got it. Just the way Mimir brings up all of his past stories and tells you about different gods.
Yeah.
Again, all the breadcrumbs where an environment can tell you a story and then also a character can tell you a thing to bring you deeper within this world.
Yeah.
Even though I thought the gameplay of God of War was very mediocre. Yeah, I'll pick story.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. I hope we answered your question, Paul. I hope there was enough detail there for you.
We can go longer.
To break it down. Picks of the week.
Picks of the week. I only got one.
What?
So earlier this year, gaming giant, arguably one of the biggest video games released last year,
which is
PUBG, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
That thing sort of died.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened. So earlier this year, the company who owns PUBG Corp, who I think is a subsidiary of some Korean company, they filed a lawsuit against Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite, based on a copyright lawsuit. So they said like their game was too similar. It takes all this stuff and they really aped our design and all the whatever. Out of nowhere, according to Bloomberg, they just dropped it. There is no word on if there was any sort of behind the scenes settlements, if they just were like, whatever, we don't think we can win this. But it was kind of it's kind of a shocking legal story just because these are arguably two of the biggest games out right now. I think Fortnite has topped League of Legends on Twitch.
Yeah. Right.
It's just, especially when that one guy just streams. I think his name's Ninja, the guy who played with Drake. Like every time he plays, like he alone has like 100,000 viewers at a time.
Damn.
Yeah, it's because I don't know, when I think about those two games, when Fortnite came out, I was just like, oh, you're hot on the heels. You had some assets and you're just like, fuck it, we had this base building game, we'll just turn it into Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought PUBG could have fought that, but
Nope.
Yeah, I guess they didn't have faith
No, you know what they
in
didn't
their
have?
own lawsuit.
Money.
They got money.
Yeah.
They had listen, just because they're not like the numero uno Fortnite, they still have money.
No, boy, they didn't have money.
They don't have that Fortnite money.
Listen, I've been watching enough Formula One to know the team with the most money wins. You just keep throwing money at a problem, it'll sort itself out.
The Disney approach.
Yeah. It'll sort itself out.
Okay. But yeah, so speaking of the money problem, I guess we can talk about that. Apparently,
Yeah, we got money issues here, guys.
Oh yeah, so we're signing up for our Patreon. We offer no new content.
Yeah.
Was it Solo?
Han
Solo, the Solo story, actually was the first loss of a
Star Wars
movie.
Yeah.
Right. There. I don't know if I want to ask you about this because you're more into Star Wars than I am. Apparently, there's some like big controversy with the current fan base.
I haven't really been keeping up with that.
Okay.
But yeah, there is some sort of movement to remake The Last Jedi.
Why?
I don't know. Dude, I haven't really looked into it.
Yeah, because like I didn't like that movie. I thought it was pretty whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I also didn't think it was bad enough to where it's like you need to remake this.
Yeah.
Right? Part of me is wondering if this is just like this. Well, it probably is. It's just the old guard just being like, this is not the thing we know.
Yeah.
Fuck you. We want our old thing. Right?
That movement's pretty crazy.
That's what I hear, but I haven't read up anything on it because I don't care enough about Star Wars.
Yeah, but it's just like, please, we're looking for investors. We need 200 million.
Wow.
We need a director. What? Nah, blah blah blah. I saw one tweet from Seth Rogen, or it wasn't Seth Rogen, but Seth Rogen replied to it. He's like, do you guys really have this money? How do you expect to get this done? And the reply back to him was, well, we got your attention, didn't we? And it's like, oh shit, okay.
That's really cocky.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also doesn't answer the question at all.
No, it's total deflection, but it's just like, oh fuck. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Nothing. It's deflection. You got fucked.
So they deflected like Mark Hamill, then they tagged Mark Hamill next, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah. That whole thing sounds crazy to me.
It does. I can't wait to see what happens with it.
Yeah, and I can't believe Solo made a loss. I thought that was a great movie.
See, I thought like I liked it, but it wasn't super. I like Last Jedi way more than that movie.
What if I told you out of the past 3 Star Wars movies
that you like Solo the most?
Keeping in mind I have not seen Rogue One.
Yeah.
I like Solo the most.
That would make sense.
Okay.
Because I like Solo the least.
All right. Okay.
And that movie bombed.
It didn't. That's the thing, though. It didn't bomb
because I got the taste.
Because it made like 800 million or something, but their budget was like through the roof.
Well, no, 800 million is more than enough. It's just I don't know.
I could be switching the numbers around, but like it made some insane amount of money, but because they spent so much, they're like, we still lost money.
They'll make you back on merchandise.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely. Okay. Do you have anything?
No.
Yeah, because it was a quiet week this week.
It was, wasn't it?
There's nothing in the Formula One world, the biking world.
Formula One world. Formula One returned to France after 10 years.
Okay. And
it was a pretty interesting race, except if you wanted to watch who was in first place. But it is definitely a season where Lewis Hamilton does not have the fastest car, at least not consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian Vettel and his Ferrari are insane. But Sebastian is also himself insane. And he has all these moments to win, but he gets too hot-headed. And it just ends up that's why Hamilton's leading. Mm-hmm. I am positive if that boy just reined in his Ferrari for a little bit, he would win, no problem. But it's an interesting season to watch unfold. Okay. Cycling Tour de France starts next week. I'm gonna watch that.
Oh, so you're going from one France race to another France race?
Yeah, Tour de France is like what, 5 hours every day?
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, easy.
I just watch the highlights at the end.
Oh, you don't keep up? Thought you were a true fan.
You can't watch a bike race.
Why not?
Because the first 4 hours are so boring. They're not even trying yet.
You're just coasting?
Yeah, they are. And then they're all coasting as a group. You see them all talking, chit-chatting. It's on the last 2 hours when someone makes a move. So that's always fun.
You're going to miss the big crash, man.
That's always fun. Yeah, but no, I think that's mostly it. Nothing really else
Yeah.
to comment
It's a
on.
pretty relaxing week.
I mean, it's the end of the school year. Summer's here, so like in the TV world, nothing happens. Big summer movies are coming out. I haven't seen Jurassic World. I think Ant-Man's out this weekend.
I still want to see Ocean's 8.
That's out. I kind of want to see Tag, the movie.
Oh, I want to see Tag.
Yeah. So, like, there's a lot of things out there that I want to see. I just haven't had the time to go for. But otherwise, no. I think that's it for the Picardos.
Okay.
The Picardos. Yes. Although Luke Cage is out. I'm gonna watch that, I think.
Oh yeah, that did come out. Yeah. I forget if I liked Luke Cage or not.
I liked the first 6 episodes a lot.
Yeah, I honestly forget if I like that show. I know I didn't like Iron Fist.
I like the idea of Iron Fist and the messaging.
I like the drunk guy from Iron Fist who sits in front of the door and then he fights him.
Yeah.
That guy's cool.
I just didn't like the Iron Fist.
Yeah, the Iron Fist was...
He was better than Daredevil.
He was.
So
I love Daredevil. Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, the Defenders. He was better.
I still haven't watched Jessica Jones.
I like that because it's just noir.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, season 5 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine's on Netflix, so I can finally watch that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll watch that now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go into a week because I think I can finally start anime again.
What?
Because I can legit stop watching The Office.
Did you finish it?
No.
What?
I got to season 8.
How many seasons are there?
9.
You gave up on 8?
No, at the beginning of 8. Steve Carell leaves the show at 3/4 into season 7, and it is just not the same.
Okay.
Like, it is the whole show, the entire dynamic changes. All the characters' interesting storylines and plot points and gimmicks, they've all kind of grown out of it, and it's just like done, you know. And then now the episodes are like just every character is a caricature of themselves.
Okay.
And it's trying to find magic, but it's just not there anymore.
So what you're telling me is that this show is worse than Smallville.
Oh, no.
But the thing, hey, you finished Smallville.
No. But
you watched 10 seasons of Smallville.
I did.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Smallville was on an upward curve. This one's on the reverse.
All I'm saying is that you finished it.
I did.
You finished it.
Listen.
I think that counts as you liking Smallville more.
I probably do like Smallville more. I wouldn't deny that. But
okay.
I don't know if I would say it's a better show.
Because
Because remember, my caveat with Smallville is watch Smallville. Just make it past the first 8 seasons.
God damn it. What a caveat. Oh my god.
After the first 8 seasons, it gets real good.
So dumb.
But no, the towards the end of season 7 is actually kind of really amazing. Like, they make Michael Scott Steve Carell's character, like the super cringy whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They like his send off is amazing in terms of they just make him the best character on the show.
Yeah.
They remove his like stupidity. He proposes to his girlfriend and it's super sweet.
Oh.
Not the one that you saw.
No, you made us watch.
I made you guys watch the dinner party episode.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
Oh, that's the best episode.
It was so cringy.
Oh, bought a plasma TV. $200.
My favorite part was when Jim tried to leave. My apartment flooded. I gotta go.
We don't need 2 of you to go. You can buy new stuff, but you can't buy a new party. She's right.
You can stay here. Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah,
that's so bad.
So yeah, I'm done. I'm done at The Office. Consequently, I just finished God of War.
Hell yeah.
I didn't realize how close I was to the end.
Do you want to have a spoiler talk?
Okay.
But at the end of the show.
Okay.
Because the game's new still.
Okay. For those of you who want to stick around, like, can't stick around for spoilers, I'll give you my wrap up. I kind of found the ending disappointing.
They did what they set out to do.
They did. I thought it was going to go with a bang, but it went out with a...
It went out with a sun.
Oh, yes, it did. It certainly did.
It did.
It certainly did. And then
make you feel a little bit.
There's a little bit of like a post-credit teaser as well.
Yeah.
But when that happened, I was like, oh, fuck. See, that's what I was waiting for the whole game.
It's not here now.
Like, they talk about that the whole game. And never till it's over.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Otherwise, rode my bike a lot. It's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we went on the ride yesterday
Yeah.
because it was raining today.
Mm.
But, man, I checked out my personal records and stuff.
Yeah.
I improved everything by like a minimum of 10 seconds. Feel pretty good.
That's good. Did you feel like you're getting better?
I felt like I was going faster.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I definitely broke my speed record. So hell yeah.
Yes, you did. You certainly did.
I thought I was going to die.
That's your fault,
Yeah,
not mine.
We went down this hill and I hit 72 kilometers an hour.
Sure did.
And I hit every manhole on the way.
Yep. One of these days, you're going to learn how to corner and maneuver. One of these days.
I'll figure it out eventually.
One of these days, yeah. No, but cycling has been lots of fun still for me.
Is it? Or is it just work?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm back to cycling to work now.
Yeah. I wish I had that in a workout.
What?
Where I'm just like, yeah, I want to do this.
Oh, yeah?
But any sort of physical activity, I'm just like, I know I have to do this. Fuck this.
No, I like doing it. I like being able to find time to do it. The only problem with cycling is it's a huge time sink.
Like an hour.
Every time we go out, it's like 2 hours, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's because I'm slow as fuck.
Yeah, but even if you were fast, like the routes I stick, it would still take us 2 hours.
Damn.
So that's your goal. You gotta shave off 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
Hot damn.
That's what you gotta shave off, buddy.
That's a large amount to shave off. Can I put a motor on my bike?
Secret? It's all in the climbs.
Yeah, listen. I know.
It's all in the climbing.
And I hate the climbs.
So do I. They're my least favorite part. I just so happen to be awesome at it.
Well, fuck you.
And there we go. That was my week. I will talk about a new game I'm playing next week.
Okay. I'm excited.
I haven't decided yet. I have to look through my stash
of games.
Yeah.
Your plethora of 20 games.
Yep.
You're gonna open up like a DS game.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you all about it. I'm gonna talk about Knights of the Nightmare DS version.
That's a PSP game.
No, I have the DS copy.
What? Damn.
Yeah, hot damn.
You're gonna pull out your PS2 and be like, man, let me tell you about Grim Grimoire.
Whoa. Oh, shit. Oh,
Anthony, I've finally been playing God Hand.
Nope.
I gotta hand it to you.
Nope.
It must be the best game on the PS2.
Nope. Or I'm going back to Overwatch because they put in the Symmetra patch and they have apparently infinite stealth for Sombra.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That sounds busted.
Yep.
In my week, I continued to read Rookies. I sat down one night and I read 70 chapters.
70?
In one sitting.
Why?
Because it was really good.
That's too much reading.
No, it's not. It wasn't enough reading.
Anthony, bleeding.
You're bleeding. Wipe yourself off, you bleeding. And I just want to watch our shower. Yeah, Rookies is still good. Classic shonen. Lots of fights. But the reason that it got me hooked is that all of the characters started to come together and realize that the teacher is not like the other teachers.
Oh,
and
classic shonen.
Classic shonen.
Okay.
And is actually there for them and cares about their well-being.
Okay.
And they decide to join the baseball team. They eventually become a team. They eventually practice, and they have their first game. And they have their first game against a very serious school. In the end, they end up losing. But the whole thing is like, dude, you had a close game. You all worked together. We started realizing that
we're in love.
We're in love with the team.
Okay.
We started realizing that we are worth something, right? The whole reason that they're delinquents is because they feel ostracized from the school, from other people.
Right.
So they hide it. They tried to hide their insecurities in living a comfortable routine life by just having this baseball team that didn't play baseball, and they just fucked around and played games all the time, right? And now that they actually have something to work towards, they're gaining confidence within themselves and reforming.
How cute.
It's very cute. At its bones, it's a super cute story.
Wow.
But on the outside, it's a bunch of delinquents fucking fighting all the time.
So you tell me,
and playing baseball.
Whenever I say delinquent, they just want to be loved.
100%.
They just want to be cuddled and coddled.
Listen, I wouldn't test that theory because this teacher took a lot of beatings to get there.
All right.
Right. But it's a really good story. It's really reminiscent of Great Teacher Onizuka. I think I said that last week.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Huh?
Yeah, I believe you.
You don't believe me?
I believe you.
Why not?
100%.
Okay. Just in the sense that it's, hey, we think adults suck, but this one adult is the exception to the rule.
Because he's so awesome.
Because he's so awesome, and he understands children, and he understands kids and high schoolers, and his whole thing. I like this teacher specifically in Rookies because he's a modern Japanese teacher.
Yeah.
So he teaches a lot of literature, and he always has some sort of just like motivational quote rattling off the top of his head. And even though a lot of the times it's cringy, a lot of the students really
Love it.
yeah. Well, they look at him like, you're a fucking loser, but then like, you know that shit like kind of, it's like, oh, it's relevant to the situation, and we take it to heart and stuff like that, right? It's the whole. There was also a line in there where two of the kids got into a fight, and one of the girl characters, who's the manager of the baseball team, was like, "Oh, guys, stop fighting. We're on a team." Blah blah blah. And the teacher pulls her aside and goes, "No, let them fight. Sometimes men have to communicate with their fists." And I was like, "Damn, this is such a cheese line, but it's so good."
Well, it is from what, the 90s?
Yeah.
That's like a classic.
Yeah, that's a classic cheese line. Yeah. They even had it in Persona 4 when you fight Yosuke.
Yeah.
Right? It's just I love it. I love this series. I love this franchise. It's good stuff. It's good
Nice.
stuff. Other than that, for some reason, I have no idea why, I looked at my Steam list and I saw that Max Payne 3
was something you bought.
And then was something I bought at some point, and then I installed it, and then I beat it.
And
that game is not as good as Max Payne 1 and 2.
No.
But also, I think it comes from, like, it's not necessarily that it's worse gameplay-wise, because it's still a pretty decent third-person shooter. You have a variety of weapons. You get the slow-mo bullet time. And there's not much in the way of enemy variation. Like, the most variation you get is sometimes people have helmets, so it takes 2 shots for a headshot. Right. But really, that game does what you want to do, which is you want to be this badass renegade cop who's slow-mo diving around everywhere, right? I think it's in the sense, I think this game is mediocre in the sense that the noir portion of it, like, and I don't remember Max Payne 1 and 2 that much, but they try and in like the same cutscene, they will be very serious about their noir, like the only thing that was looking back at me was the bottom of a bottle, like that kind of shit. Just like, oh, I'm down in the dumps and all this stuff. But right after, they'll have some like dad joke, but in a noir tone, right? And I don't really know what the game wants me to perceive Max as. Do they want me to perceive Max now as this recovering person who's like trying to make light of situations, or do they want me to see him as this dark and brooding character who's lost everything and is now in South America for some reason? Right? So that was kind of disappointing. The game is also a lot gorier than the previous games. Like, in different cutscenes, like, people have like someone was caught in an explosion and they had like a exposed shin bone.
Yeah.
And like Max just steps on it and snaps it in half, and like people get their arms blown off and they're walking around with no arms and shit. Like,
not walking around no arms.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah. This is just in cutscenes though. In gameplay, it's not like you're shooting a guy in the arm, his arm blows off.
Oh, okay.
Right. But it's only in cutscenes. Yeah. It's just weird because they try and take this really dark turn, but then also try and make Max not 100% brooding all the time, which then ruins the noir aspect. Yeah, I think the story kind of drags this game down.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I did was I started up again Borderlands the pre-sequel. Yes. But I started up with my friends. It was on sale on the Steam sale. Yeah. So it was like, I don't know, it was like $9 for $1,000. It's like $9 for the game and all the DLC. So I bought it up, and I think the reason I didn't really get into the pre-sequel the first time was because I think I was still hot on the heels of Borderlands 2. And I didn't have enough time between the games to really want to deal with another one of those.
Yeah.
Also, just like in the rule of video games, everything is better with your friends. So I have 2 other people to play it with.
Disagree.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Disagree.
You have more fun playing Monster Hunter solo than you do in a squad.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are instances where playing with others is detrimental to my enjoyment.
Any sort of multiplayer Super Mario game.
You got it.
All right. Understand.
Anything where I have to split screen with a person.
Okay. What about co-op Halo?
Only if we're doing System Link.
Oh, wow. So picky.
If we're fucking sharing that 4x3 2 box, no thank you.
Okay. Multiplayer GoldenEye?
No, because I don't like that game.
You don't like GoldenEye? Wow.
I don't think it's very good.
Man, it's blasphemy. What's going on?
I don't like that game. I don't like that
You're going to be
game.
burned at the stake.
What, for the N64?
Yeah, they're going to crucify you on a giant N64 controller.
I saw this some tweet that fucking blew my mind. Made me sad.
What?
Like, did you know that the Wii U nunchuck, or the Wii nunchuck,
The Wii nunchuck, yeah.
it's just the center of the 64.
Oh, I did see that tweet, and it blew my mind.
And I was like,
no! You can't unsee it. The center stick was the most comfortable stick.
And I was just like, no, the best.
Oh, no, it's coming back. I saw that tweet, and it threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Threw me for a loop. But yeah, so I started playing Borderlands, a pre-sequel. This time, instead of playing Jack, who his special power is that he can make clones of himself.
Oh, yeah, Jack Attack.
Yeah. I started playing Nisha, who's like one of the non-DLC characters. But I saw in a build, so she has a special move, and her active skill is you don't have to aim. It just auto locks onto people.
It seems like game hacks.
Yeah,
What's going
you
on?
shoot like 100% faster. You reload double speed, and you get it a lot quicker.
So wait, so she has Soldier 76's ult?
She has Soldier 76's ult.
Oh, nice.
It's fucking rad. The other part is, so in 2 of her trees, the end skills in Borderlands trees are always like the busted skills.
Yeah.
So in the center tree, it is if you are holding a pistol or a magnum, you get a duplicate in your other hand for free.
And they auto lock?
And you dual wield.
Oh.
Right? But if you aim down the sights, you only get 1 gun. So you always want to be just riding it, just spraying. The last skill in the other tree is ricocheting bullets.
Oh.
So the bullets hit the floor and then hit the nearest target. So when you activate your skill, you just fire at will. Wow. And even if you miss from while you have auto lock, even if you miss, the bullets will still ricochet off of the environment and hit the closest person.
So the bullets get lock on after they ricochet?
Yes.
Whoa.
So they have lock on while you're in the mode, but also they have lock on while they ricochet, to my understanding.
That's magic.
Yeah, and I was watching some bullshit videos of people like walking into a high level camp and just being like, check this shit out. Just everyone dies.
Wow.
My other friend's been playing Claptrap.
Yeah.
And they really advertised in the marketing material that, like, hey, if you play Claptrap, he's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And when he plays Claptrap, it's fucking annoying because he has area-wide buffs, but they always have some sort of bad, like drawback. It's a monkey paw wish.
Yeah.
One is like you fire super fast, but you can never stop firing. So you have no control. If you're in it while he activates it, you just fire forever. The other one is that your melee skills are crazy powerful, but you can never stop melee. So their only attack you can do is a melee attack, and you have to change up your whole thing. And then he has different skills based on, I think one of his is if you can give him a high five.
Yeah.
And you can either give him the high five and collect a certain power up, or you can ignore it and he high fives himself and then he gets a different power up. Right? And then it's funny because all the characters interact with each other. If you're playing multiplayer, like characters recognize that you're in a multiplayer game and dialogue changes. But also like when Claptrap is using his powers, you can hear other characters like mutter to themselves. Like one time I was downed and my friend used a Claptrap power and was reviving me.
Yeah.
And I just heard my character Nisha be like, "I'd rather be dead." Right? So the dialogue in this game is fucking fantastic, and I think I just needed a break from
Borderlands.
that sort of humor for me to appreciate it, because the writing is fantastic. It's just very in your face, and I don't think you can take a lot of it for a long time.
Yeah. Surprised there isn't a 3 yet.
Well, that got leaked, right? Borderlands 3 got leaked by Walmart Canada.
For this year?
No, there was a whole bunch of E3 games that got leaked.
Oh yeah.
I just think 2K decided not to announce it or something, but yeah, Walmart Canada did have a Borderlands 3 thing up on their page, so could be in the works. Yeah. Unless Walmart Canada just ruined it and they're like, fuck it, cancel the game.
I'd be down to play another one.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Other than that, for some reason listening to a lot of K-pop and watching a lot of dance videos and looking at them and watching like 5 seconds of a dance video and being like, I can't do that. I can't. I'm lost already. I can't do it. Yeah, that's been my week.
Okay, I remember 2 things I did too.
Okay.
Rewatched Creed.
Oh, okay.
Because last week that trailer came out.
How's it hold up?
It's really good.
Still good?
It's good stuff.
Awesome. I still like the joke where Rocky makes him the workout schedule and he takes a picture of the paper. Oh, yeah. And then Rocky's like, what are you going to do? He's like, I got it in my phone. I'm good.
He's like, it's already in the cloud.
What cloud? What cloud?
An old man.
Poor Rocky.
An old man. Yeah, so I watched that. And then I started watching Netflix's Queer Eye.
They remade Queer Eye?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they remade it.
With all the same people?
No, totally different. Okay. 2 different crew. Take a different approach. And it is probably like the most, if you need a pick-me-up, it's just a very positive, heartwarming show to watch. Lame. It's so the magic is with this show is everyone that they're gonna like. So the premise behind Queer Eye is in this case it's 5 gay guys.
Okay.
And they're going to, it's like one of those remake reality shows where they're gonna reinvent a person.
Okay.
Usually it's a guy. But all the candidates that have been nominated, they are open to change. They want this.
Oh. Wasn't in the past like sometimes they'd get people where it's
where it's I
don't want to do
it's
this.
Like a surprise, right? Like my friend nominated me and you're like, oh, what? All these people want to change. Like they're open to it because they realize that they need to change. And I don't mean like their physical appearance or their style. Like that is most of the show.
Yeah.
But a big component of the reason there's 5 guys, because before it used to be like one was clothes, one was
hair.
Grooming, what is it? Cooking, and something else. They have a 5th guy, and he's just more about working on yourself.
Okay. So, like in terms of physicality or just like mental
in your mind.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Like he's there just to let you know that like, listen, you don't, he's about getting you out of that negative space, about being more accepting of who you are.
That's actually really cool. Yeah. And it makes me want to watch that show.
So that is, and then it just makes the whole show so uplifting, and it's a very sweet show to watch.
Okay.
The first guy they do is like a trucker from Kentucky who wears jorts and a t-shirt. He looks like Santa Claus.
It's a trucker. Yeah. Hell yeah.
And he's like, I want to change. And it's just so, it's incredible. Like they really hit it with this new iteration. It's like, it's not just about the makeover. Like it's there, but a lot of it is watching these people just be a lot more open. Like the second guy, he's like an Indian dude, smart tech genius, but he's very closed off from world. And he would like to, what's his number 1 trait? He keeps people at a distance.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to be too comfortable with others. So like in terms of like, I think what he said was like, he knows everything about his friends, but his friends know nothing about him.
Oh, sounds like someone I know.
Yeah. The other thing he does is he likes to deflect a lot of social interaction with witty humor or awkward humor. Like if you say something, if he gets nervous, he just throws in a joke.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
to combat the situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
he's a very non-touchy person.
Okay.
So watching him grow, like it's very very fun to watch. It's good, and of course you get style tips if you want. You can learn
Okay.
fun things to cook or whatnot if you need to redecorate your place.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
I
get
know
some
when that show
ideas.
originally came out, I was of an age where I just didn't give a shit about that kind of stuff.
The original,
Yeah, the original.
yeah, for sure.
But when you mentioned that the fact that they added this fifth person to kind of be like the mental coach, like I
Yeah.
think that's a really cool twist. I think
Yeah.
that's I can't really think of like when I think of stuff, it's like I think of like Say Yes to the Dress.
Yeah, see, like that one's tough because that one they just come out and be like, "Haha, you dress like shit."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that are makeover shows
Yeah.
that are basically, listen, you're fucking garbage,
Yeah.
right? And you need to not be garbage.
yeah,
Whereas this one, it kind of sounds like it's because they have the right candidates
Yeah.
that they can take a different approach.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that like, obviously, the change won't happen unless you're open to it, unless you want it to happen.
Yeah.
Like no one can force change upon you, and I think that's the message of the show, and it's a good show to watch. I'm having lots of fun with it.
Okay.
But yeah, that was it for my week. There we go. Other than that, this is in the show, unless you're sticking around for God of War spoilers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, next week is stuff.
Yeah. Next week, we got stuff.
Yeah. Look forward to it.
So, God of War.
God of War.
I want to leave off, or I want to start off where we left off last week, where I mentioned that the story for me took a turn for the better after a certain character has a realization.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was when Atreus realizes that he's a god.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this slow turn into him just being a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah.
Right? That switch of like, how do you parent a god?
Yeah.
Right? That twist, I was like, this is fucking cool. And then they started getting into the cooler part of the game, the cooler part of Kratos' parenting strategies. Right? And I don't know, did you find that too when kind of that same turning point, or
No, not really. I felt like when that happened, I was like, oh fuck, the story's going in this direction. I feel like I've seen this a million times. Kid realizes he's invincible and now he's gonna just be a little dick about it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, let's get through this.
Yeah.
And then at some point, Kratos is gonna have to be a real dad to him and tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it happens. But then something else happens where he's like,
no, I think it happens when Baldur fucking gut punches him.
Yeah.
Right? Because Atreus is like, I can do this shit.
Yeah.
And when they're on the mountain.
Yeah.
And because Atreus shoots Kratos with the electric arrow, paralyzes him, and then Baldur just walks up to this kid and just like 360 gut punches him in the solar flex.
And he takes it.
And it's just like, man, you got fucked. Like, now you understand that being a god isn't what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Also, that there's a couple character turns after that. There's, what's her name? Freya. There's Freya's turn, which is like, listen, like you guys have helped me out. You've made me realize that I want to have a better relationship with my son.
Yeah.
And I want to do anything that will make him not hate me.
Yeah.
Right. And that scene with where she's getting choked out.
Yeah.
Like Baldur was straight up gonna murder her.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just like, no, this was my decision. Like that was some classic god, Norse mythology, Greek mythology, god interfamily bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? Where she was just so mad at the fact that
Yeah.
you didn't let me die, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in this game because I know it's the first. I know you talked about the post-credit sequence where Thor shows up. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that where I'm like, shit can happen in the next game.
Yeah.
Right. There's especially one of those fake closets, the story closets, where on it has 4 different symbols. One is for Norse mythology, one is for Greek mythology, but then there's 2 other ones. There's like one for Japanese mythology. Yeah. And I'm like, man, like they wrote in a way for them to have access to almost all mythology. Yeah. Right? to have these realms connected in a certain way.
Yeah.
And because of the lead up to Jotunheim, and when you see the mural where for somehow the giants have predicted the story of Atreus and Kratos, and you see Kratos is dead, right? So Kratos he's gonna die at some point, right? And I'm trying to think like way forward into the series where if they could do a thing where it's like Atreus kills so Kratos kills his dad, Atreus kills his dad, Atreus's kid kills Atreus, and it goes down when it changes mythologies, right? And it goes down. I think that's like really cool. But that'll be a thing like, oh, I'm gonna be fucking 50. They released God of War the reboot again, right? But you also mentioned that you were disappointed, I guess, in the ending. Yeah. Just because
I don't know. I just felt like, okay, you know what? Like thinking back on it, I don't know. Like, see, I just wish there was more to it. Maybe it would have been different if I played it all in one shot after the big Baldur fight and then finished it. Yeah. But I put after the big Baldur fight. I didn't realize that was the end game fight.
You didn't realize he was the boss.
Yeah, because I know you've been beating this guy every 2 seconds throughout the game. But I just didn't think that when you beat him, that was it. I thought there was going to be something more beyond that. Something to stop me, like a giant when you get to Jotunheim. Or maybe Odin will come down and be like, yo, shut the fuck up. No, seriously, I thought Thor was going to show up. You killed his kids.
You killed one of his kids. Oh, no, you killed both of his kids. Yeah, Atreus fucking shoots him and throws him off. Well, is he dead, though? Because he was alive, and then Atreus just pushed him off a cliff.
He stabbed him, and then...
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the story trope of like, oh, you don't see me die on screen, and I disappear, so I come back later.
The point is, you killed Thor's kid.
Yeah, you killed Thor's kid.
And you maybe lost the other one. Yeah. And so I thought Thor was going to rain down hell at you at some point.
But he doesn't.
That's why, so at the post-credit scene, it's like 3 years later, I'm like, wait, well, hold on. Fuck, he shows up 3 years later to avenge his kid?
He shows up for Ragnarok. That's the whole thing, right? What the fuck? It becomes the eternal winter, and a winter that lasts for 3 summers. Yeah. And then Ragnarok happens.
I guess I wish, I like, when I look back on the whole experience of the game, I just wish there was more to it. In the sense that, like, there's like 2 enemy types in this game.
Okay. Shield and non-shield? Yeah. And then flying?
And then there's the 2 types of giant enemies.
The Stone Colossus and the
ogres, and then that's it. And then those are all you fight for like the entire game.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I kind of, to me, at some point, I just felt like it kind of just dragged on. I wanted to finish it by the time I was more than halfway through it. The story stuff, I thought it was all leading up to something cool, but kind of just didn't for me.
I can see your feelings on that, because me as well, after the Baldur fight, I was like, okay, well, we're going to Jotunheim.
Yeah, we're gonna do something.
Like, shit, it's Jotunheim. Shit's gonna happen. How is someone not gonna stop us from doing this? And then you just go.
And at some point, I'm like, maybe that was just like, that's just the story they wanted to tell. Like, they didn't hide anything from the start. Like, from the beginning of the game, they tell you, we gotta get to this mountain to put our mom's ash there. And, you know, I'm not gonna say that they didn't fulfill what they wanted to do, but I just thought there would be more to it. Okay. In terms of your comment of like them going to different worlds or different sceneries, like
different mythologies.
Yeah, that sounds cool. But then I just think Assassin's Creed. and then I'm like, you know what? If I'm burned out here, what's going like? I don't know. Like at some point,
for me, I think the difference would be that
because like it's got the same shit. Collectibles, secrets, endgame armor.
You're climbing up things.
You got it. And I'm just like, I don't know.
For me, I think it's the spacing, and I think it's, again, the storytelling. Whereas in Assassin's Creed, it's every year, and they took out the most interesting portion of that game, which was Desmond. Yeah. And after he was gone, like, I just didn't give a fuck.
That's true. I guess, you know, with this God of War moving to Norse mythology, I thought they would have tackled a broader scope. But you really do focus on like 2 people. Yeah.
And to me though, I feel I think it's smart.
Yeah, that's the story they wanted to tell, and I think it's impactful.
Because it's a story they want to tell, but also like Norse mythology, like other than Vikings and Thor and Odin, like it's pretty dense and pretty obscure. Yeah. Right. And so they kind of introduce you to some out of left field characters. They introduce you to Freya, they introduce you to Boulder, they introduce you to Mimir, right? And these characters can tell you more about the different sides of the bigger people, of the head honchos, so to say, right? Like Mimir tells you like, hey, Odin's a fucking piece of shit. Like every turn he can get, he's like, listen, like I was young, I was thinking about my career, I was thinking about that resume, and Odin fucked me. He trapped me in a tree, and now I'm ahead. And yeah, just Baldur being like I like being a god, but they took away everything from me. They took away feeling, like, and it's these. I think it's this kind of stuff that really sets the tone for what Norse mythology is. I feel like if they went straight to Thor, if they went straight to Odin, they kind of would have blew their load early. Probably. Right? Because that's like even in God of War 3 or in the original God of War trilogy. Like you don't meet Hercules until the last game.
That's true.
Right. Right. It's always lower end stuff like that. You don't beat Ares until God of War 2.
That's true. That's true.
I think it's just the way they pace it is different, and I am with you to where I was like, oh, the game just ended. But I don't think that had as much of an impact on me because it made me look forward to, like, I enjoyed the story I had, but it also made me look forward to the future.
No, like it's a good game. It's definitely a good game. I probably will not be excited for the sequel.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like it'll be one of those things where it's like, I'll get to it eventually.
Oh, it's out. I'll try it.
No, I'll be like, is it hit the clearance bin yet?
Can I borrow it from somebody?
Is it on free on PlayStation Plus?
Okay.
Like that's how it's gonna be for me. Like I enjoyed my time, but it just didn't hit me as hard.
I think there's stuff this game can do better, especially like you mentioned in terms of enemy types. Combat variety. And like it, like the more I thought about it, the menus, you were right last week where I was just like, I was critically looking at these menus after that show, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of clunky, right? It's like layers upon layers, and nothing's very, like, especially socketing stuff.
Fuck, if you take off an armor piece, you have to put it back on before you can unsocket it.
Yeah, you have to put it back on before you can unsocket it. You can take it from other pieces, but like, you don't know which one is like in which armor piece and stuff like that. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, for a game that is so hell-bent on equipment and stats, it is just not as smooth as I would have liked it to have been.
I do like some of the post-game stuff, like defeating the Valkyries and all stuff like that. But there are other portions that are just fucking annoying. Like, you have to go back to Hell, the cold place. Just like, that level is a hallway and 2 branching paths left and right. And they make the paths to get there so long and arduous that it's like, are these collectibles even worth it? And then the same thing with Mufelheim. The fiery hellscape torment. Though once you get to the top of that challenge arena, you fight the final Valkyrie, and it has repeatable challenges. Right? But the thing is, you can't just do the final challenge, which is like survive for a certain amount of time. We're going to throw a ton of enemies at you, and it's super fun when you play it. And it's just a good way to grind, right? But as soon as you finish that, you have to go back and complete 3 more of the previous repeatable ones to do the final one again. And the end game armor and upgrades take so much of that material that it's like, I don't even fucking want to do this anymore.
So that's why I felt like there's a lot of classic ways that this game goes about to give you extended playtime. But it's one of those where it's like, it's like you can see how, what's the expression? How the it's something along like how the food's being made or something.
Oh, okay. You know what I mean? You can see the cow being butchered, I guess.
Exactly. And it's kind of like, I don't want to see, like, it's just like, this is long because they need to give you value. It's so they can put 30 hours on the back of the box. And it's just like, I wish I didn't feel that way because I got tired of it.
And it really shows when it's like, hey, we got Odin's Ghost Ravens, which don't really do anything.
There's 50 of them.
51, Vince.
Oh, God.
51.
Oh, God.
And they're spread out everywhere. And even after you beat the game, they don't give you a thing on your map. It's just like, dude, they're just here. Like, just go. Right? Or stuff just like, oh, you want all the trophies, eh? You gotta watch every lore sequence. And it's like, fuck off, I don't care, right?
Yeah.
Like for as good as the side stuff is in that game, it's just there are certain design decisions that are like you said, like you're seeing how the meat is being made, and it's just like, fuck, man.
But my biggest complaint, literally,
is
questioning the God of War's legs.
Questioning the God of War's legs? What do you mean?
Like, I see him kick the living shit out of stuff. I see him kick through walls.
He steps on a guy's skull and
he does the Gears of War curb stomp.
Yeah.
You're telling me this motherfucker can't jump? The climbing in this game is so slow.
It's very
it's so clunky.
Yeah.
It is.
It's so static.
Oh, it's so awful. Like, it is. Every time I saw a wall, I was like, no. And then when I realized I have to go back down, I was like, no.
The annoying one I thought was, this is really like a tiny gripe, but when you unlock a shortcut where it's the chain, and you kick down the chain,
and he goes down
he always goes down the chain, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, why can't you just kick it?
Just kick it and stay there.
Yeah. I know. Like, there's just so many things that, like, they had to, like, I get it from a developer standpoint. It's like when you make the Superman game.
Yeah.
You have to give him limitations to give you a game, but then at some point you're just like, this is fucking dumb.
Yeah,
this is really dumb.
Yeah. I think a lot of that game could have benefited from like a freer, faster climbing, right? Like, I feel like Monster Hunter has better climbing
because you can jump in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you can just scale, right? So
you have the Spider-Man web sling in Monster Hunter.
Oh, that's World though. That's some special shit.
Oh, that's true.
Well, but he has the fucking chains.
Yeah,
he can just lasso up that shit,
and we know he's got the arm strength. He can totally do it, right?
Lifted up that fucking tree at the beginning of the game.
He fucking flips the temple.
He flips a temple. He flips a temple.
Oh, and you're telling me this man can't jump?
White man can't jump, you know?
Oh, man. I knew you were going to say it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just... I like the lore that they shoved into this game.
No, it is. It's fun.
When they said that during Ragnarok that happened in the future...
Yeah.
That Thor and someone else clashed so hard it sent the world serpent back in time. I was like, God damn it. That's fucking rad.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's just a lot of good set pieces in true God of War fashion. Yeah. But there is some gripes I have with that stuff.
Yeah. But there you go. Those are our full thoughts on the 2018 God of War.
Now to go back to the PS2, play God of War 1. See how it compares.
No,
I'm good. You don't want to like get on a bed and then like off-screen bang 5 ladies and get hella experience points?
Dude, that's what made that game 10 out of 10.
Dude, how was there not an off-screen portion of QTE banging in this game?
Because he's a kid.
So what? They couldn't have had you QTE the making of that kid?
Oh, like the game opens up?
The game opens up and it's you and your wife. And it's like, he's finally happy. He's having a good time. You bang out. And then after you QTE the sex, years later, wife is dead.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know.
Slacking. And the big reveal
of
that Atreus is half god, half giant.
Yeah.
And if that reminds you of anybody, you're right. It's Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think in Norse mythology, Loki is the bringer of Ragnarok.
I think so.
So I'm pretty pumped. I want to see how Atreus fucks everything up.
Yeah.
To start Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool twist. It's like you're the villain, asshole.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Get fucked.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's God of War.
It's God of War.
I want more. You don't really care.
Yeah. I'll play it. I'm in no rush.
Eventually.
I'm in no rush.
It's because Last of Us 2 is coming out next year.
This year.
This year? Is it this year?
Isn't it this year?
I thought it was. It just said TBD 2019.
Oh, did it? Oh,
I don't remember.
That's a bummer. I thought it was the end of this year.
Oh,
I
well.
was excited. Aww. Well, that's no fun. Oh well. Guess I'll go back to my library card.
Yeah, there's no release date. It's
Having
just
fun
2019.
Isn't hard.
When you have the library.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, our library carries like good shit.
Like, what are we talking?
Like it carries good video, like new release video games,
Really?
and like some of the weeb shit too.
Really?
Like you want some Nippon Ichi Software games? They got your back.
I mean, I don't, but how's that anime section?
And I have not stepped foot in the anime section. I know they have a very robust manga section.
Well, it's a library.
But I have not checked out the DVDs or Blu-rays.
Because, you know, I'm thinking maybe I should start reading the manga at work.
Ooh, Vince! Oh, Vince! Please. I'll let you borrow some stuff.
Oh, no. No.
There's a lot of good stuff out there.
I know. There's a whole wide world.
There is. Man, you think you get through anime fast. Let me tell you about catching up with manga. That shit's fast.
I don't know if I want to do that.
All right, how about this? I'll buy 1 to 86 of One Piece.
Whoa!
And I'll just lend you it.
Let's not go there.
All right, I got some recommendations in the bucket.
We'll see.
It.
We'll see next week.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.